Drew, obviously this one much different from road losses to USC and Washington. Can you talk about the mood in the locker room after losing to a team that you guys were heavily favored to beat?
Yeah, we were all pretty down, disappointed about it, obviously, and I guess we kind of have to watch the film to see what happened. Really, from my perspective, it's kind of hard to see what's happening when our offense is on the field because we're trying to make corrections for our defense. So I wasn't really able to see what was going on, but clearly they came to play today, and they didn't stop. At 1 second because they slowly crept back into the game. It feels like, and that's always disappointing to see happen. So I think we're going to capitalize on it, and we're going to bounce back.
You guys are up 31-3. Do you think you guys relaxed at all on the sideline?
I mean, I was trying to look around to see what happened, and it was kind of hard to dissect the situation for me because at one point we were up by a whole lot, and it seems as if we kind of got too comfortable maybe and kind of gave it back to them. Because like I said, they kind of just crept back slowly, and before we knew it, they was tied up. So that's kind of sickening to happen, but I think we'll be all right.
Drew, they switched quarterbacks at halftime, and you guys did a pretty good job against their starter. But once Luton came in, obviously he was on the money all afternoon. So what was different once he got in?
I mean, we tried to account for them. We knew one of them was good at running and the other was more of a passer, so we tried to capitalize on that. And their quarterbacks, they had a great day. Obviously, they were hitting a bunch of their targets, so I'll give them credit for that, Yeah.
I mean, all season, obviously, you guys have played pretty solid defense. We've talked so much about the way you guys have played the second half, especially for them to score 24 points in the fourth quarter. How devastating is that mentally for you guys defensively?
It's very devastating. I think that it shocked all of us, and none of us were really expecting that to happen, being the fourth quarter team that we were. And like I said before, kind of following that other question you asked, it might have been because we were getting comfortable, and we were just letting them make these deep bombs, and maybe it was our communication kind of lacked a little bit as the game went on. Obviously, we started out pretty hot, and I wish we could have finished out the same way. But, yeah, it's definitely disappointing to see them put up that many points on us. So that's something that we're going to have to work on for sure.
As a senior and one of the leaders on this team, what do you tell your teammates to keep them focused?
The biggest thing is, I think, is that all the plays that people do mess up on is that we need to forget that, and you got to erase that out of your memory before the next snap. Because too many times I feel like, even me personally, that I'll make a mistake on one play, and I'll just think about it throughout the next play, one or two plays, and that's definitely it's something that's gonna hold us back from being able to focus, being able to communicate. It's kind of wild. Later in the game, we had some guys go down. We had some younger guys step up, so we had to pick up the communication when the younger guy comes in, and I guess we didn't do too great of a job on that either, so we can work on that for sure.
So Drew, obviously, you said that you kind of let up a little bit. Once they start coming back, I imagine they got your attention. But how hard is it to actually get that back and really start, digging in a little bit? Because obviously they just had the momentum and just ran with it. So how hard is it to really dig in from that point once they've got it?
Yeah, it's difficult to go from having momentum to losing it, to trying to get it back. And I feel like, if we did get too lackadaisical, then, yeah, it was, by the time you start realizing that they're still in this, it's practically too late for us to try to make up for that. And you're just playing a game of catch-up. So we got to stay on our toes. We can't get comfortable. If the score is 31-10, if it's 31-0, we still need to fight like it's a tied game. That's not what we did.
Hey, Drew, you kind of mentioned how you want to maybe look at some tape and correct some mistakes. But for you personally, I don't know if you've ever dealt with a loss like this before, but, I mean, what is best for you moving forward? Do you want to just put it in the rear view and forget it as much as possible? Do you want to, think about it some more? How do you get past a loss like this?
I mean, first of all, I don't think we need to dwell on it too much, but we do need to capitalize on where we messed up. And, our first practice going into this upcoming week, we have a whole, segment for mistakes in the previous game that we have to capitalize so that they don't come up later. And we knew Oregon State was a team who their coaches like running plays that work well on us from other teams. So they did a great job at scouting that out and seeing what our weaknesses were, and we weren't able to capitalize on it. So that's the biggest emphasis for us is going to be to find out what our weak points are and make them to our strong suits. So yeah, so don't dwell on it too much. Obviously, we have to think about it over the weekend, but after that, there's got to be a point where we got to focus on Arizona and take them out too.
McIntyre mentioned too that he's going to probably have to be a little bit of a psychologist this week with you all. Is there something that you would like to hear him tell the team or tell you specifically?
Honestly, he comes up with something new every week, so he's kind of unpredictable. But I know without a doubt that he'll have a plan for us. He's a very smart coach, and he's great at fixing mistakes for us, and he'll get on us. And I think we're going to learn about it. I'm really not too worried, so I know he's got a plan.
What were your team goals when you were 5-0? What are your team goals now, and how do you reset?
In a perfect world, I'd like to say that we got the same goals as the season as when the season started, and that's to focus on the week at hand, the team at hand. And obviously, when you lose 3 games like this, that our goals might change a little bit as far as finding out what went wrong. Just keep it as simple as that. Just find out what we did wrong, and fix those errors and be able to focus on the next week. So, our goals is to literally just fix what we did wrong and focus on Arizona and game plan on them and prevent what happened tonight, prevent that from happening next week.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew.
Appreciate it.